This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm April.
And this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
Anything else that gets in the mix.
So, April, how's it going?
Oh, just taking it day by day.
Same.
Yep.
So it is almost summer movies.
Summer season movies?
Yeah.
The movie
Summer
of summer.
movies. But we went to the movie theaters and saw our first movie in like forever.
I will say that I did look up upcoming movies. There were not a lot.
That's so weird.
Because usually you can tell, like, you know, you see all these Marvel, like they're continuations. They're franchises you recognize.
Yeah.
And this year, there weren't a lot of movies I recognized.
Yeah. It is so bizarre to me. Like, okay, I know we went on a Wednesday. I get it. But there was like 5 of us there. And then there was 3 people working. And that's it. I think that's all that was there at the movie theater.
I was upset that there was a drink at the bar. I did not realize it was a special because of the movie we saw until we were leaving. And of course, the bar's closed then. And it's like, first of all, if I had noticed the sign before we went in, I wouldn't have gotten it because I wouldn't have like put 2 and 2 together. But now I kind of want it.
Right. Like great marketing. What they should have done was when we gave him our tickets, he could have said, "Oh, hey, do you want to try that drink that's for the movie?" Upsell people. Like that would have been a perfect time to tell us that.
Yeah.
And
then I could be mad at myself for saying no.
Exactly.
But it could have gone either way. You know,
Yeah.
I might have said, yeah, sure, let's try it.
Yeah. I would have said no because I don't like margaritas, but
this was a spicy margarita. Okay. It's spicy. Like it had like the
spice.
the you know how when you dip it in the salt?
Yeah.
This one had like spicy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was Lucas or like what. Because I'm still thinking it still has to be sweet, you know? So I am curious about it.
Yeah, it blew my mind at how little people were there. I mean, it wasn't like we were at a 1-room theater. There are like 10 other theaters, and I don't think anybody was there.
It was really dead.
Yeah, it was shockingly dead. And our movie was at 6:20, and no one was there when we left. So it's just like,
I have to say that the best time I have ever gone to the movies was when we were at school and we skipped, right?
Yeah.
And it was me, Sandra, Yolanda, and 2 other people, right? And we decided to go to the movies. One of the things we did. So did we walk downtown? I think we walked all the way downtown from school because we lived that close or went to school that close. And I know we did so many things that day. It was so much fun. But one of the things is we went to the movies and we were the only ones in there.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I can't remember what movie we saw. Was it She's All That? Gosh, I can't remember anymore. But that was my perfect day.
I went to the opening of a brand new movie theater when it came to the parks, the AMC. I went.
Really?
Yeah, I went the day it opened.
When did it open?
It opened in, I want to say 2002, November of 2002. I'm pretty sure, because it was my cousin's birthday. The only reason why I know is because it was my cousin's birthday and I was getting her a gift, but I went to the mall and I saw that it was opening and I went and saw 8 Mile by myself. And then I went over and got her a gift at Aeropostale. And yeah, I went and saw, that was the first movie I saw there at that movie theater. And I think I was the only one.
Do you want me to tell you my favorite experience at the park's AMC?
Sure.
Okay, so this was back when, remember, the movies would come out at midnight.
Yeah.
So you had to camp out and wait. Like, obviously you bought at this point, you're now buying your tickets beforehand, but now you're waiting to get in, right? This was before assigned seating. So first come gets the best seats. So I remember it was for Transformers. Okay. We got, as soon as we got off work, we got there. We're sitting down, waiting in line. We're nowhere near the front, but we're still like up there compared to how long the line gets, right?
Yeah.
So I think this was the first time that the parks did this, that every single theater had Transformers in it. So when you went in, you could run into any theater. It didn't even fucking matter which one you were in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They were like, literally, they started one after another. Like, whoever was working the projectors started this one, went into the next room, started the next one. So we were all like in sync. But anyways, so I don't know why my friend's boyfriend called his friend to come to the movies with us. And we're like, yeah. Well, he was like, yeah, just come over, buy a ticket. There's so many people here. At this point, we already knew it was a free-for-all once we get in. Yeah. Right? And then I was like, yeah, we don't have to worry about you not sitting with us. So he got there. He tried to buy a ticket. They wouldn't sell it to him, because they were sold out. And then my friend's boyfriend was like, just come up here. There's going to be so many people. Nobody's going to notice. Yeah. Right? And so then they're still checking tickets, right?
Yeah.
And so then I'll never forget, Sandra had her and her boyfriend's ticket. So she got her ticket and she gave her ticket to her boyfriend, right? And then she gave me my ticket. And then I showed my ticket to the lady, and then I walked past, and then Juan went and showed his ticket and got past, and then Sandra showed her ticket and got past. Meanwhile, Juan turned around and handed his ticket because she didn't cut them. Oh. And handed it to Justin, and she kind of saw but kind of didn't because there were so many people, and she was saying, hey, that's not your ticket. Well, he's like, what do you mean? This is my ticket, right? And so then we're already like in, like, first of all, me and Sandra were busy, okay? We weren't paying attention or listening to what the boys' grand scheme was. I don't know if this was their plan or this was just a last minute thing or what, right? And so then we're preparing. It's like, okay, we need to go to the theater, pick a seat, leave the guys, and then go get, snacks or like, trying to figure out. And then the lady's like, no. And then she's trying to take Juan out, right? And then Sandra's like, wait, what's going on? He's trying to sneak in, pointing at Juan's friend. And then Sandra's like, he's not with us. And then it's like, okay. And then Juan like went with us. And then the friend went around her while she had her back and like went that way, because it's like a circle. Yeah. And then we're like, let's go. And we took off to the back because, again, it's a free-for-all. We go to the back, find great seats, and then we call him. We're like, hey, we're in this theater. And yeah, we snuck him in. It was so awesome.
That is cool. I guarantee you there was spots available.
There was, especially with the free-for-all.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that was so much fun. We just ran. Everybody was running.
See, they didn't do that when I went and saw Twilight when I was in college. The movie theater had done where all of them started, but they started like...
What year did Transformers 2 come out?
I don't know. But they started like this one at 10 o'clock and this one at 10:20 and this one at 10:10. And so,
Yeah. I've experienced that as well.
but it was like every theater.
2009?
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved Transformers 2 so much that I saw it twice.
Wow.
Was it number 2 or was it number? Okay. So
I just hate that, like,
2009,
this seems like the
2007. It's hard to say. I feel 2009.
yeah. Like, it just feels like this is the end of the movie going experience. Like, just they don't do them the same like they used to.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
now they come out like Thursday at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Like today, it was going to be Planet of the Apes at 7 o'clock.
Mm.
You know, like I miss the midnight shows. I remember one time me and Sandra, we were going to watch The Dark Knight, but we ended up getting tickets at 2 different theaters. And so then okay. Do you remember Six Flags Mall had a theater? So she ended up going over there.
Oh, creepy. Sorry. That's just my initial thought is, creepy.
How many times have you been there?
A couple. Sorry.
Oh my God.
It's just how I feel.
Yeah.
But what's your story?
Well, it's ruined now. You hate it so much, so what's the point?
I just said it was creepy. That's all.
You're a hater.
I am.
You hate everything. You're like Kendrick. You hate everybody.
I don't hate everybody.
Oh my God, we went to the theater yesterday, right? That's what we're talking about. And she's hating on Nicole Kidman. She does it every single time. I know you hate her. Why you got to say it every single time? If you hate her that much, why do we keep going to AMC and why don't we go to Cinemark?
Well, first of all I said was, ugh.
Every single time.
That's all I said was, ugh.
Every single time she complains about her.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm complaining about you complaining about her because I'm so sick of it.
Yeah.
I will not go to an AMC theater with you ever again. I don't want to hear it.
Because of one little remark?
Every single time.
All I said was, ugh.
Oh my God.
And actually, I didn't even address it to you.
I could hear you.
My sister said something to me, and I said, ugh.
Oh my God.
That was it. That was all. That's all she wrote.
I'm saying it now. I'm not going to AMC with you no more.
All right.
All right. We'll have to go to Cinemark.
You have really
They have
weird
better
rules.
popcorn anyways.
All right. Well, we're 12 minutes in. So we went and saw The Fall Guy. And I knew what the movie was about.
That was not the movie I was sold.
But I felt like it was different than what I thought it was.
Yes, because this is how I remember the trailer. Here's a stunt guy, and then the main actor goes missing and he has to go find him. Yes, an adventure, but it became so much more than that.
Yeah.
Like, it's still that, but
for some reason, I thought he had to take over his part, is what I got from it. That he was a stunt man, and he had to replace the main actor.
I still remember a chase. Like, maybe, I don't know. I haven't rewatched the trailer.
But I definitely have to say that he's a much better looking. Like, usually the stunt person is not more attractive than the main actor. And in this case, that was 100% the case for me. Maybe other people might think the other guy was more attractive.
Have you seen some of the doubles people have?
I've seen them, yeah. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, they're not as good looking as the other person. I mean, sometimes they might be
the
better
only
looking.
ones I can remember are the good looking ones. So I can't agree with that. The others did not stand out.
Who stood out?
I remember somebody once showed like a list like of doubles or stand-ins, and I saw a bunch of them from like the Dragon show, the House of Dragon or something.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that.
You know, what's funny is that a lot of times there'll be guys that are stunt people for women. Like they don't look the same, and yet here we are. I like to watch movies, especially like older ones, and when they do like ice skating or they're doing horseback riding, you're like, that's not them. That body is way different. I like to watch that. But I found that it was more hilarious than I thought it was going to be. And I really liked the chemistry between Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling.
What I didn't like is when they did the split screen.
Oh, really?
It went on too long.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
It was too long. I didn't care. He's there to do a job. Can he not talk and look for like the dead body he would have found sooner if he had stopped talking?
I thought they were doing it mocking romantic comedies doing that. So that's why I thought it was really funny.
It just went on and on and on. And then the only part of that scene I liked is obviously the beginning, because it's like, oh, it's like, you know, they're showing what her vision is.
Yeah.
And then later when they're more zoomed in, when it looks like they're actually talking to each other. But that whole middle part was too much.
I liked when she's wearing the alien hand and she's like touching her face. It was so funny. I also liked when they're looking in the mirror when they're close up, and then you see he thinks he's talking to a unicorn because he's on drugs that makes him see unicorns.
Yep.
And that was really funny. The whole time, like, so at the beginning, basically it follows Ryan Gosling's character, Colt, as he was a stuntman and for this real famous actor, and he gets injured, and apparently it was his fault. And all I can think is, you don't set that up. So how would it have been his fault? Unless he released his trigger or something too early or too late, how would it have been his fault at all? Turns out it wasn't, but all I could think was, that doesn't sound like it would be something that would be your fault as a stunt guy. That would be the people who set it up. But
I feel like you also have a personal responsibility to double check like your snaps and everything. True. So maybe he thought his blunder was his overconfidence.
Could be, yeah.
Maybe not double checking. Like, yes, the actual faultiness wasn't his fault, but maybe he didn't, do all his checks.
Yeah, he was distracted.
Definitely.
The whole way getting in position, he was talking to Emily Blunt's character, Jody, and maybe he just was distracted, he thought, and almost nearly died, broke his back, and I did think it was kind of funny that he had long hair.
He should have kept it because he would have matched better.
Well, that's what I thought was really funny, because he had short hair, and then we see him 18 months later and he has long hair, which is the same kind of hair that the character has. But when he comes to the movie set, he has cut his hair. And I was like...
Well, because, he has to clean up for Emily.
I thought that her having... They had a lot of gags, and one of them was she's telling him the story as she's like to explain why it's important that he does the scene over again so he understands the story. And she basically makes him get set on fire and throw his body into this brick wall or a rock over and over and over, and she just keeps telling him more of the story, and it's basically their love story, and it's highly entertaining.
I think the better way to explain it is that when he came on set, he pretty much came on. She had no idea he was coming, and he does this great stunt, and then she sees who it is, and then they move on to stunt number 2, because I guess today's stunt day.
Yeah.
Right. And, he does a stunt, and she's just, I guess, been sitting and spewing for the last hour or two. And then when they're taking a break, she decides, he's like, you know what? You don't actually know what this script is about.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about it. It's about this space cowboy who like comes to this planet, and then he makes this alien queen fall in love with her, and then he ditches her for like 18 months. Doesn't call her. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, I think that'll really help me connect with my character. And she's like, good, let's do that scene when we burn you again.
Yeah.
And then they do it again, right? And then, they're resting, and she's back on the megaphone, and she starts telling him more about this love story. And like how when they yell the line girl, she's like, should we be quoting the source material? She's like, no, I am the source, or I know it by heart. And then like everyone's just waiting, okay? Because he just got set on fire. They're taking a 5, and everybody's like kind of looking at him and her. They're like, what's going on?
Well, because they had a thing. They were together or sort of, or just getting together.
Yeah, her job before this, I think, was like camera girl 2 or something. She wasn't a director, but she ran the cameras.
Yeah. And when he had his accident, he thought it was his fault. He kind of like, he was so cocky, and he basically went into hiding and got rid of his phone number, didn't talk to anybody anymore, and basically ghosted her.
Yep.
And he was told that she wanted him there. And so that's why he went. That was the bargaining chip used to lure him to this place.
And she now finally has her big shot.
Yeah.
This is her directorial debut.
Yeah.
And it's a sci-fi,
rom-com.
I don't even know if that was the real story.
Yeah, we don't know.
But so then what I love is like they're on the 3rd take or something, and then they hand him a megaphone because she's complaining, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
And so then he starts talking, and then one of the little alien dudes, he's like, pass me the mic.
Yeah.
And he passes him the megaphone, and he starts talking, and they have to take it away from him.
That was really funny.
I loved that bit.
Yeah, that was so funny. And then after that, he talks to Gail, the producer who got him there, and was basically like, hey, she didn't want me here. What is going on?
He's like, I could feel the mood. This is what needed to happen between you two.
And she was just like, no, she wants you here. But actually, our lead actor is gone. You need to help us find him.
Or it's going to ruin her career if we have to shell the movie.
Yeah. And it basically turns out that he has gone missing on purpose at the producer's
assistance.
Because he killed the other stuntman pretending to do a stunt at a party.
Yeah, kicked him into a vase or some glass thing and died.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it like was a head injury or like.
I think so.
Yeah.
'Cause he had blood on his temple.
Yeah.
And then they basically set up this guy as the fall guy. And so he's having to run around and do a whole bunch of like Tom Cruise-esque stuff.
Another scene that I love is that the famous actor's girlfriend, it's like, I don't really know much, but you can go to that club where his drug dealer hangs out.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you can't dress like Pobo. And then it reminded me of that TikTok, like you can't be a Popo, like a poor person. You don't see that guy. And it's like, well, like, okay, the ladies that do the ice, the flavored ice cubes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He like respond, like that was the first one I saw where he's like, oh, look, do you have circle eyes? Do you have cube eyes? Oh, no, you don't, because you're a pervo. You're a poor person. You don't know classy. But anyways, she said that. And then she dressed him in this neon outfit.
Oh, because it was neon night.
Oh, yeah. And he goes.
He looked like a yellow highlighter.
Yeah. And he goes down there. And of course, the drug dealer offers him a drink. I knew, do not drink that.
Yeah. I was like, who drinks that?
What you do is you pretend to drink the drink, but you don't drink it. Yeah. But he drank it.
He did, of course.
He started skitzing. And then he started, because he's a stunt man, he starts doing all these live action stunts on everyone.
So do we actually think that happened? Or is it like made up in his head? He thinks he's actually like kicking all these people.
So I believe it happened to a degree, but not as awesome as he portrayed it. Because let's face it, he really did have to chase down that other dude. Yeah. That happened. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was it looked like you were on ecstasy fighting. That's what it looked like.
Yeah. And he asked, how long does this take to wear off? They go, well, as long as you still see unicorns, you know you're on it. And so that's the first time he sees a unicorn. He's like, damn. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when he runs into the guy's girlfriend, they never explain why the actor has all these Post-it notes everywhere.
Memento. He's obsessed with that movie.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Because when she gave him the Post-it note for the code for his door, and he's like, what's this? It's like, ugh, it's all over. He's like, oh no, not a memento. Oh. Yeah. He's I don't know if he's become obsessed with it or what, or maybe there was a movie that, maybe part 2 or some crap, but he became obsessed with it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was like, what's with all the Post-it notes? But his girlfriend was they have a cockatoo, mm-hmm. and he has one note that says, sell cockatoo, buy koala. On the other side of the Post-it note. I was like, oh wow, so are all of these double-sided or just some of them?
I wondered about that too, because they didn't flip any other ones around.
But his girlfriend had like a knife or like a long sword that was a ninja
sword. Yeah.
I thought she's still kicking some ass with that sword, fake sword.
Well, he did the same thing. He later had a gunfight with the gun that had blanks.
Yeah, he had rubber bullets.
But they didn't know that. And then when they thought they shot him dead, Yeah.
He got up real quick.
I know. Did the guy not notice there was no blood? Right? Or he just figured dead. Moving on. Got to call the boss. Tell him he's dead.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then at one point, he runs into this girl. She's an assistant.
She knows it's going down.
Yeah. And she has these 3 dogs, and one of them speaks French. And he brings the French dog with him because he worked with the dog on a film. And that dog can kick some ass. And
poor girl, she just wants a movie credit.
I know, right?
And she's like, I found his phone. It's locked. I don't know what's on it. You give me a movie credit, and then I will give you this phone. And he's like, fine, I'll do what I can. So she hands over the phone, and then in that moment, she gets kidnapped, he gets attacked. Yeah. And then they take off with her, and then he takes off after her and calls the commando dog to follow. And then they have a pretty awesome chase fight scene.
Yeah, and she was no slouch. She was kicking some ass in the cab of the truck. Mm-hmm. But all I could think was, no one is seeing this. On the streets of Australia, not a single person is calling the feds. They're not following them. I just thought that was interesting.
I would be following.
Yeah, no one was taking videos or at least they didn't show it. I thought at some point they would show a crowd of people and be like, oh my God.
I am surprised there was not more destruction.
Yeah, and there was quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Just imagine just the street, like a giant crack down it.
Now, the question is, would that be on the film to pay for?
They would see, the thing is, if they all got away, I mean, what about the person that rented that giant dump truck?
Yeah, and the truck that he demolished.
Oh, yeah. It probably would come back at least. Well,
because he ran into the truck with his truck.
Again, they didn't catch the person. They could just say the truck was stolen. Mm-hmm. We have no idea what's going on. But then they also, like, later they accuse him. Eventually they're going to pay.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, you're a murderer. Like, he's innocent, but he was part of it.
Yeah. And, you know, I will have to say, during that whole chase scene, when he comes out and he's wearing that, like, red jacket and the white shirt underneath kind of tucked into his jeans, I was like, he looks so damn good in that outfit. And the whole time he's kicking ass, all I can think is, he looks really good in that shirt. Like, really good. And then he somehow lost the jacket and he was, like, filthy and he had the dog and he's running through the streets trying to get to the karaoke bar. I was like, he looks really good running in that shirt. I don't know what it was about this shirt, but I was impressed.
I must say, I really loved the fashion of the actors in this movie. Yeah. Like, this space cowboy, he was wearing fucking gold. Mm-hmm. I would have never have selected gold, a gold trench coat, gold pants, gold, like, I don't know, man.
It was very Mad Max.
Yes.
Meets Tombstone.
Yeah. Like grungy gold, not like shiny gold, although it had sheen, you know, but like I with that desertness, it looked nice. Now, you would not want anything shiny in the desert.
No.
Because that's how they find you and like bomb you or whatever. But yeah, I liked that look.
When the actor Ford is doing his, like, lines to pump up the troops, I was like, okay, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
He was definitely doing a version of Matthew McConaughey. I don't know if it was intentional, because it doesn't sound like he talks like that normally. So I was like, what is going on here?
Man,
that's a choice.
All I can think about is Pietro, because apparently I did know about him before, obviously, because he was, I think, in what's that movie?
Oh,
anyways, he had done other stuff, right? And I had enjoyed his films, but it wasn't until he was one of my favorite X-Men. He was Pietro. And ever since then, he's been Pietro. Did you know he did the movie War and Peace? No, not War and Peace. Anna Karina. Oh my God. He looks so good. Oh my God. He was the captain. Who was he? Dimitri? Oh my gosh. There's this one dance scene where he's wearing this light blue, like, captain's coat. Oh my God, it's so good. I love him. I absolutely love him in that film. He is gorgeous.
I don't know if I know him from anything.
Oh, yes, you do. He's in that ninja teen movie. What is his name? Taylor. You know, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I have it right here. Let's see.
What was he in? Kick-Ass. Yeah. He was in Kick-Ass. Anna Karina. Oh my God. You need to look at the pictures from Anna Karina. Where is he? Where is my love?
Bullet Train. Oh, The Kingsman. I saw him in The Kingsman.
You need to see how gorgeous this man looks in this movie.
Look at Captain
him.
America. Okay.
Look at him.
No. Doesn't do it for me.
Hold on.
He looks like a blonde Timothy Chalamet. And I don't think he's attractive either.
Look, here he is in his captain's uniform.
See, he looks like Jasper from Twilight. That's what he looks like there.
Well, it is like the 1810s. Like,
I mean,
they're fighting Napoleon.
He looks good in this picture. I like the dark hair better on him than blonde.
Listen, look at him. Look at him kissing her hand. Look at him.
Doesn't do it for me.
Oh my God. Did you even read Anna Karenina?
No.
Oh my God.
Isn't it Anna Karenina?
I don't know. Well, it's because you pronounce Ita Karina, so it'd be Anna Karina. Oh my God.
Yeah, no. I like him with the dark hair better, for sure.
Oh, I love him. I love you. I honestly love you.
So I guess you're not a fan of Ryan Gosling in this movie. You're more Tom Ford.
No, I like them both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was the most shocking to me was at the end of the movie when they're premiering the movie and who's starring in the movie but Aquaman.
Yep. Jason Momoa.
I was like,
I mean, they have. I honestly thought he was gonna make Ryan was gonna make his acting debut. That's where I thought this was gonna go.
Now, okay, there are a few other people that would have made more sense to me than Jason Momoa. I love Jason Momoa, but since you already have this film mostly done, it would have made more sense to have
someone that kind of looks like him.
Yeah, so I was thinking Bradley Cooper. He looks more like he could be a Ryan
too
Reynolds.
Old.
Yeah, but with the facial stuff that they had in the movie, he at least has the same kind of body, same kind of height.
Nah.
The hair,
you
the beard.
You are not going to replace Jason Taylor Johnson, whatever the fuck his name. You're not going to replace my Pietro with Bradley Cooper.
But Jason Momoa?
Yes.
And he wasn't even like hot Jason Momoa.
Oh, that's just wrong.
I don't know what was going on, but he looked different than he normally does. Like, I love Jason Momoa, but I was just like, really? That's interesting.
I thought they were going to change the speech, but he gave the same speech.
Sort of.
Yeah.
He added some flair, Ric Flair, to it, and got them all hyped in a completely different way.
My problem is that when you replace him with Jason Momoa, you can't really use Colt as the backup.
Yeah, no.
You know, because they don't have the same body type.
Not at all.
So.
Not at all. And
in that regard,
that's why I was saying it would have made more sense to have a Bradley Cooper type.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. You always name drop somebody.
Well, I was just thinking, like, that was an interesting choice. Who else would have made more sense to me in my head based on the body type?
You also have to look at it. This is an action movie.
Or John Krasinski, just because he's married to Emily Blunt. That would have made more sense to me.
That would have been a cute tie-in.
Because he like, with the beard, he may have looked kind of like Ryan Gosling.
It wouldn't have mattered what he looked like. I just would have liked the fact that he was the husband.
Yeah, I think that would have been really funny.
Yeah. Because Bradley Cooper doesn't do action. At least John Krasinski or whatever his name is has done action.
Yeah. I was trying to think of other people last night when I was driving home. But those are the only two I really like stood out to me. Unless I went too old or too young. And I was like, no, that person wouldn't work. No, that person wouldn't work. I did think Ryan Reynolds, because people get Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds confused. And I thought that would be kind of funny. But I was so surprised it was Jason Momoa. You know, a little sighting of him. And then I thought, why'd they do that? Why wouldn't they just replace him with Ryan?
Yeah.
That would have made more sense.
That's what I thought they were going with. What I found interesting is that assistant with the dog earlier that had her own little fight scene.
Yeah.
She's the one who gets into the car after everything goes down, and she's like, "Get me Jason Samoa."
You keep saying Samoa.
I know, because of the damn cookie.
Hey, maybe you're hungry. You want?
No, it's because like I'm always annoyed when people say that.
Uh-huh.
And now I can't get it out of my head. But Jason Momoa. Anyways, she's like, "Get me his assistant or his agent." And I'm like, who the fuck do you call? Like, you're already an assistant. Who is your assistant to ask them to call the agent,
Yeah. Well, he said, I'm going to call my agent. And I thought, oh, is she the agent? And we just didn't know that whole time. Who knows?
Yep. So, we're skipping a lot of the movie. Basically, they are trying to frame Ryan that he's the murderer. Mm-hmm. They've already concocted some video that shows him where the dead body was found.
Yeah.
And now he makes a great escape plan, pretending to blow himself up. Mm-hmm. He sneaks onto the set and has an epic fight because he's wearing a costume with Emily's character until she figures out it's him.
Yeah.
And then they decide they're going to come up with this plan. They're like, okay, we're going to catch him on tape confessing. How are we going to get him to confess? Worst fears, greatest fears. He doesn't do his own stunts. So they're like, we're going to make him do his own stunt. So of course it's like a race through the sand with bombs going off.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a wire. And so finally they get the recording, and then his goons that he partied up with and the producer, they're like, oh, we can't let our meal ticket go down. So then more chasing starts, and the producer goes and like hijacks or mugs the sound guy and gets the tape. And I must say, I love that Ryan is not the only person fighting.
Yeah.
His, like, I guess the stunt
the whole
coordinator.
crew.
Yeah, the stunt coordinator. Obviously, you get that job because you're an expert, which means you probably have done it yourself for years. So he starts fighting, and they make a great team, and they get everybody to fight. And somehow, the bad guys get on a helicopter and they're flying away, but they start throwing bombs so that they can't get up too high. When Ryan jumps onto the helicopter and is dangling, and now you have this epic fight in the helicopter.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his little stunt buddies blow up like an inflatable giant bed where you drop from high heights. And they're dragging this shit on the back of a truck. Like, they have it hauling with like chains or whatever. Yeah. And I'm just like, aren't you afraid you're going to bust it?
Right?
Like, is it on wheels or something? Like, I just kept thinking, like, if this thing busts, there goes your plan. What, B? Because plan A is to land the plane, right? Yeah. But yeah, no, he lands, he makes it. He's got the recording. Everyone's going down. And, no one, our main character, our lead actor doesn't go down.
No.
He walks into a landmine that they've set up.
Yeah.
And he blows himself up. So, yeah.
Yeah, they have a karaoke scene, and she, of course, changes her song when he doesn't show up. Changes it to a fucking Phil Collins song. I was like, God damn it. I can't get away from it. I cannot. And it was really fun, and I enjoyed it, and that makes me more angry about that. And then when they are all fighting and all of that stuff, they set off like smoke bombs. And so the other goons, their cars are flipping around because they can't see anything. But they make it through, and that was really exciting. But yeah, like I just thought it was so funny. Like, the whole thing was hilarious.
Yeah, Ryan has some awesome outfits. I loved his Miami Vice stunts. stuntmen or something. Like he kept wearing like all his old like crew jackets.
Yeah. Well, and he even says to the girlfriend of the main actor, she's like, Miami Vice. And he's like, yeah, I was on the set and I could even do some of the stunts with my hands tied behind my back. She goes, like, you're so cocky. And he goes, well, I mean, you asked. And then that comes back later
because
in the movie.
he has to do that stunt because they had him tied up. He got away, but his hands are still tied up. So,
and he was able to drive a boat with his hands and tied behind his back.
He jumped that boat into like gasoline giant tankers and jumped off.
Okay, how many guys do you think this summer that have seen this movie are going to try and tie their hands behind their back and drive their boats behind them just because they saw this stunt?
We'll never know the true number.
That's true. But do you think there'll be some dude out there that will try?
There's stupid ass people throwing trash in the ocean. You haven't seen that?
The correlation was lost. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, people throw their trash everywhere all the time because they're assholes. Trying to think, there was nothing that I really hated about this movie. I enjoyed all of it, though I did think it was the producer quite early into the film. I thought maybe she wanted to get the movie shut down and reap the money. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Like the producers?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking she was trying to do until we found out it was actually a murder.
My questions still are the goons.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is Australia. Do they have weapons like this? You know?
They're not supposed to have guns, no.
Yeah, like, that's my question. Like, are these goons? Obviously, they're not goons that travel with him. Like, I understand, like, your little entourage and, like, yeah, that's security. But they look professional.
Yeah.
You know, like, what did she do? Like, go to the mafia or something and be like, I need your help to protect my actor. Like, I don't understand how they teamed up on this.
Well, I think he was with the guys that he gets the drugs from. And that's why. But I don't know.
So they don't want him going down because he's a good customer? Like,
I don't remember why.
Because my whole thing is like, dude, I'm not ruining my multi-million-dollar drug empire just for, you know, every time you come into town, you buy up $100,000 worth of drugs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I'm sorry, as a business person, that is just not good economics.
No.
I'm not going to ruin my drug business for one druggie. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah. I just don't understand what they had to do with this story. I understand tough guys were needed. I just don't know how they tie in. It would have been better if his little entourage of wannabe fake goons were doing it and they just had a lot of lucky passes.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, shoot him. I was like, I think this gun is stuck. And then he taps it and then it goes off. And then that's the one that shoots and destroys the phone. Like, that would have made more sense.
One little part that I did find super funny, he gets in a truck that he borrows and it has a Taylor Swift song and he's playing it.
And it's all too well.
It's like very loud, but we don't know that until she's outside the truck.
She knocks on the window.
Yeah. And we're like, oh, good Lord, that's super loud.
And he's crying and you could tell he was crying.
She's like, is that Taylor Swift? And he's like, yeah. She's like, are you crying? He's like, no. And then she gets in the car and they talk for a bit. And then she's like, can you just drive me to my car? And he drives. And I was like
5-10 feet.
I go, he's not going to go very far. And then boop, there's her car. And it was so funny. And
my first thought was, how the fuck do I know which one's your car?
I know, right? I kind of wondered the same thing.
Because obviously they are a film crew. They're on location. She would be in a rental, not in her personal vehicle.
Yeah. But that was a funny little bit there. I'm trying to think anything else.
I loved the end credits where you see the real stunt people and the real director.
Yeah, this was like a movie within a movie in a meta world.
Yes.
So like the stunt men on this movie that are in the movie,
and there's so many of
have
them,
their own stunt men.
Yeah, because I do remember seeing something. There's different stuntmen for different things.
Yeah.
Like I'll do the car scenes, but I can't do underwater.
Yeah.
You know, I'll do falls, but I can't do like breaking into glass windows or something.
Yeah.
So, and then there's different stunts that you need different looks. Like I need a guy who looks more like him in this scene. And this scene, I don't need any. There's like, we could do close-ups without, you know. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I even enjoyed before the movie started with him and the producer who used to be a stuntman. Were talking and they were texting. And even that was interesting and entertaining. Yeah, I enjoyed the movie.
I think the end credits would have been better if it wasn't half a screen. I would have liked a full screen and maybe the bottom just running, you know, the names because I wanted to see more.
I will say, I haven't been to a ton of movies since COVID started in 2020.
It definitely changed everything.
But the ones I have gone out to see in the movie theater have been worth it. Well, this one was well worth it.
Because we've been so selective.
Yeah.
I remember the very first movie we saw after COVID because we waited.
Yes.
And it was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, that I would have regretted not seeing that in theater.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, like, I think we went during the week, didn't we? Or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because it came out, we're like, obviously we're not going opening weekend, but we can't wait that long because it's going to get spoiled. Mm-hmm. So we went during the week and it was perfect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, and you know what's funny? I've been listening to that Grey's Anatomy podcast. And I told you that they're almost to COVID time. And
the before times.
Yeah. And they had talked about how they went to go see Little Women and they were going to see Cats. And that the Emmys had just come out and J-Lo should have gotten nominated for her part in Hustlers.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, we went and saw that. Like right before the world just like went crazy.
Oh my gosh, we used to go and rent out a whole theater.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Well, we didn't rent it out. But
hey, we paid our $10. Yes. We got movie, food, snacks.
Yeah. We knew some people.
Yeah.
We knew some people.
Yeah. Listen, if you know enough people, you should just rent out a theater.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how it is in other theaters, but the one theater we go to, they let you bring food in.
Yeah.
So like on top of that, I would still buy my popcorn and then we would have food, all kinds of food. Sometimes there'd be sushi, sometimes pizza. Yeah. There was always chips and drinks, you know,
it was
sandwiches.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Great time for sure. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a good time. I had no negative things to say.
The only real harping is that split scene was just too long for me.
Yeah. I liked I liked sitting in it. So I was okay with it because I felt like they were doing like a bit.
Honestly, it felt like it went on for like 6 minutes. And 6 minutes doesn't seem that long. Yeah. But it is.
Yeah. Especially if you didn't enjoy it.
They could have done it in 3 and gotten the point.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. What would you rate it?
Ooh. It's hard to say because I really, really enjoyed it. But would I watch this again?
Really? I sat there and I was like, I want this on DVD.
Now, I am interested in listening to the commentary and any extras. So for that, if you bought it, I would like to see those things.
Yeah.
Film-wise, I think I've seen enough that I don't have to see it again. So I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10.
For the soundtrack alone,
Oh, that was good.
I would give it a 9 out of 10. Because I thought the soundtrack was really good.
I would agree. There was no bad song.
Yeah. But I would say this is a 8.5 out of 10 for me.
It was very entertaining. It was very good. I'm glad that we saw it in theaters because this is an action movie.
Yes.
Yes.
It was so much fun. It was a comedy. It was an action. And great casting of the two main leads. Like perfect.
Yes.
But yeah. So April, where can they find us?
Two Chicks Talkin Flicks on TikTok.
Two Chicks Talkin Flicks on Instagram
Facebook.
and Facebook. Basically everywhere. We need more reviews. So if you're listening to this and you haven't done a review, do a review. Give us 5 stars. Be a patron. You could or a subscriber.
Subscribe.
You know, all of those things. If you want to give us money, that'd be great.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. So, there we go. But until next time.
Toodles.
Bye. This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Giovanni. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.